Hi, I'm Stephanie Jaworski of joybaking.com. Today we're going to make Gingersnap cookies, and this is what they look like. As you can see, they have really nice crisp edges and soft and chewy centers, and they're really nice and spicy. So if you, to make the batter, if you have a stand mixer like I have here, you use your paddle attachment, or you could just use a hand mixer for this. And the first thing we need is 3/4 of a cup, which is 170 grams of butter, and have that at room temperature. I like to use unsalted. I prefer the flavor, but you could use salted if that's what you like. And then I'm just going to beat this for maybe a minute just to get it nice and smooth. Okay. And as always, when you're making a batter, just scrape down the bottom and the sides of your bowl as much as you need to, because you want to make sure that all the ingredients are mixed together. So next, we're going to add a 1/2 cup, 100 grams of granulated white sugar, and then a 1/2 cup of firmly packed dark brown sugar. That's about 105 grams. And then I'm also going to add just a 1/2 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract. So I'm going to beat this on medium, high speed, just until everything's mixed together and it's kind of light and fluffy, maybe 2 minutes. Okay, so this is what you're looking for. This nice, light and fluffy, everything all mixed together. So next we're going to add 1 large egg and have that at room temperature, along with 1/4 cup, about 80 grams of molasses. And what I do is you can either lightly butter your measuring cup or spray it with one of those nonstick sprays before you put the molasses in, and then it comes out a lot easier. It doesn't stick as much. Just a little tip there. The same thing with like honey. If you do that, it makes it a lot easier. Okay, so I'm just going to beat that in. Okay, that looks good, doesn't it? Smell, you really smell that molasses. Just love that smell. Okay, so now for our dry ingredients. In a separate bowl, I have 2 cups, that's 260 grams of all-purpose flour. You may know that as plain flour. To that, I'm going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Now, if you use salted butter, you might want to eliminate that salt or just cut it back a bit. And then I'm going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. And then for our spices, I have 1½ teaspoons of ground cinnamon, that's about 3 grams. And 2 teaspoons, about 4 grams of ground ginger. And a 1/2 teaspoon, it's about 1 gram of ground cloves. This will give us that real nice spicy flavor. Now, if you wanted to add even more ginger flavor, you could add a bit of that crystallized ginger, candied ginger, and chop that up into fine pieces. Or you could even add like a tablespoon of finely grated fresh ginger if you really want to have a pronounced ginger flavor. Okay, so now all we have to do is add our flour mixture. And start your mixer on low because you don't want that coming up in your face. And then just beat it until everything's all mixed together. Okay, that looks good. Such a pretty color, that ginger color. Makes sense? Ginger snaps. Okay, so now this batter is a little, I'm just going to fold in that flour that's up the sides, but this batter is still a little soft, and we're going to roll it into little balls to make our cookies. So I'm going to chill it, you know, till it's firmed up a bit. You know, maybe depending on how soft your batter is, you know, could take a half an hour. I mean, you could even make it well ahead. Do this tomorrow if you want. But just until it's firm enough that you can roll it easily into individual balls. So I'm just going to put it in a bowl, cover it with plastic wrap, and we're going to chill it. And when we come back, we will make our cookies and bake them off. So our batter is nice and chilled. So first, preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 180 degrees Celsius, and you will need a baking sheet. I've lined my baking sheet with a piece of parchment paper, but you could just lightly butter it or spray it with one of those nonstick sprays. So now we want to form our batter into 1 inch, that's 2.5 centimeter round balls. Now, if you have a scale at home, this is the fastest way I'm going to show you to get all of them the same size. So just take a bit and then roll it into your first one, and then if you have a ruler, just check. Okay, it's about 1 inch, and then just weigh that, and that's about 19-20 grams. So that way you can just take the little thing and just keep weighing it. And so that's how I find is the best way to do it. So once you roll all them into, I put 12 on a baking sheet like this into your roll, then just put about a half a cup of granulated white sugar, about 100 grams, into a small bowl, and then just roll your cookie balls in the sugar like so, nice and coated, and then put it on your baking sheet. Space them about 2 inches apart because they do spread about 5 centimeters. And then just take a little glass of some type and then just gently press them down just to flatten them a bit. If you want, you can add a little more sugar to the tops like so. And that's what we do. So once you've done that, then we're going to bake them. Now, ginger snaps, really, it's a personal thing, how crisp you want them to be. In my family, we like the outsides, the edges to be a little crisp, but we like the center soft and chewy. So I find that is about 12 minutes. So, go. Okay, our ginger snaps are now done. As you can see, they've flattened and they've spread out. There's some cracking. And for, like I said, for crisp edges but a soft and chewy center, if you can feel the edges are set, firm, but yet the center, when you press, is still a little soft. So I'm going to let these cool, and when we come back, we will try one. Okay, so now, try one. That's really tasty. And I love the texture. Like I said, the outside is crispy, the edges, and yet inside is really nice and soft and chewy. And of course, with all those spices and the molasses, you have a really flavorful cookie. I mean, my kids just love them. So you can store these probably, I find, 5 to 7 days, but they never last that long, but you can. So enjoy, and until next time, I'm Stephanie Jaworski of joybaking.com.